You will, as you promote your church, you will get haters. You will, as you put yourself out there, see more people react and respond to the things your church is doing. And it's usually not your charitable works, your missions, your service. It's the Jesus part. See, we know this, pastors, when we do a relational efforts or mission efforts to go spread the gospel, teach the gospel, serve people in the name of Jesus. We understand that as we serve, church work and mission work is a lot like a magnet. It will both attract people to hear the gospel, but it will also repel people who have no interest in those things. They have hardened hearts. They're not called yet. Depends on what you believe on that. See, church marketing and promoting your church and raising awareness is no different. When you put yourself out there as a church, two things are going to happen. People will be attracted to you like a magnet, or they will be repelled from you like a magnet. The difference is people are a lot more brave and courageous online than when they see you in person. And so they are going to let out a spew of hatred that they would never say in person. But it's easy to do it when you're not looking at someone eye to eye or even in the same room. And they can just type up whatever they want with virtually no consequence. I'm going to tell you that the haters are going to come and you need to embrace them and learn to live with them. There are people in your community right now that hate your church. If you're doing God's work, they will hate your church. Luke 6:22. Blessed are you when they hate you and exclude you because of on account of the Son of Man. I need to memorize that one better. Blessed are you when people hate you and exclude you and revile you and spurn your name as evil on account of the Son of Man. They're going to hate you in your work. And yes, when you promote your church and do things like post more on social media, be more present on Google, announce things that you're doing, not only missions work, but evangelism work as well. Run Facebook ads, open your profiles up to leave reviews. You will get some hateful reviews that are from someone who's never come to your church, never talked to you, probably doesn't even know anyone in your church, unfortunately. They're going to leave a 1-star review. And you know what? Embrace it. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to not only share the love of Christ, but to correct the errors of their ways. And the beauty of people hating you on the internet is other people can see it as well. It's kind of like when someone's talking, two people are talking, and one of them just has a crazy idea, just crazy. I can't even think of one right now. But people are passing by are like, this bro is crazy. No one's listening to him. Why are you even talking to this guy? They can see crazy. They can spot crazy. So if someone jumps in your comments and is like, Jesus is a hateful R word who was a race baiting person or whatever, and white supremacist, whatever it is, people are going to spot that and say, that's crazy. Now, some people will go along with crazy. There's nothing you can do about that. But what you can do is take that and use it to your advantage, which we're going to talk about here coming up. But I want you to understand that you will get haters, and that's okay. You need to embrace them. Pastor, if you've done any community work, go serve on school boards. Go serve in the Lions Club. Maybe not so much the Freemasons, but if you go to any, what is it called? Chamber of Commerce, right? There are going to be business owners there that are like, I don't want anything to do with you, or your evil, or your high-mindedness disguised as humility, holier than thou church. I'm running my business, and you're not getting a dime from me. We understand that hate is there. It's just going to be more present online, and that's a good thing. Denzel Washington said, some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons. Denzel Washington said that, and that is very true. Church marketing is like a magnet. It's going to attract some people, but it's also going to repel some people. And instead of doing nothing, they're going to do something and share that hate with you. And that is a good thing. So in order to know how to respond to these hateful comments, you need to know you need to be able to identify what the different comments are. So let me jump into that. You are going to get hateful comments. There's no question about that. You're going to get hateful comments, hateful messages, hateful email replies, hateful, maybe even some hateful phone calls or texts. And the worst one, I know, I'll admit it, the worst one, hateful reviews, ratings, 1 star. This church is heretical. They just want your money, 1 star. You're going to get those. You're also going to get actually reasonable objections to the gospel. That's okay too. It's kind of like when your child says ow, or your child starts crying, or, when your baby falls. You have to measure your response based on what happened. If your child just stubs his toe walking in the room, you're like, oh, you okay? Cool. Now, if your child drops a knife on that toe, you're like, don't move. I'm getting everything I can out of the medicine cabinet. You're just like throwing stuff at them, right? There is going to be a measured response. If your child is running and falls on grass, get up, son. Keep going. Now, if your child falls on concrete, hey, let's take a minute here and let's look at this. And if you're just playing and your child's like, oh no, I fell, you just laugh, right? Different scenarios require different responses. And so what you need to do is when you get hateful reactions, just like you would change your reaction or response to the situation of your child falling, you need to change your response based on what category the hateful comment falls under. And there are 3 categories. Like I said, there's objection, there is complaining or a complaint, and there is a trolling. That's the 3 things. They fall in those 3 categories. Okay. Number 1 is objection. This is actually the most legitimate comment that you can get that can be deemed as hateful. In reality, it's not hateful. It's just a disagreement. It's a disagreement for what you say. Okay. That's an objection. That might look like you post a Bible verse and someone says, oh, well, the Bible was just written by man and they threw half the books out at the Council of Nicaea anyways. Or everyone knows evolution is real and the creation story is made up. Right? I know a lot of pastors that would hide that one. That is a great opportunity to speak truth to it. We'll talk about what that looks like in a second. So an objection is a disagreement with what you say. Then there's a complaint. A complaint is a disagreement with who you are. Meaning it has nothing to do with what you're saying. It has more to do with who you are. This is more of, this church doesn't really preach the gospel. I went to, you post a Bible verse. I went to your church and no one said hi to me. This church only wants money. That's kind of an objection and a complaint. See, an objection is a disagreement with what you say. That you can address head on, and you want to do it in public, meaning reply to that comment because you want to show people why this is incorrect thinking or the incorrect worldview, or maybe even if you weren't clear, clarify. And you want everyone to see that because, again, you want people to say, that person's crazy. This church is onto something. Whereas if you just hide it, no one's going to care. No one's talking about this. Pass. Today's world, we live in such polarity, it's expected now to see disagreement. You can post a tweet right now. Free hamburgers on Sunday. Why not tacos, you racist? It's going to happen. So you got objection, you got complaints. The third type of hateful comment, reply, whatever it's going to be. The third type is a troll. And a troll is just trying to stir chaos, right? If you imagine the Joker making Facebook comments on your church's profile or Instagram or YouTube channel, yeah, that's a troll, okay? A troll's goal is to do nothing but cause chaos, to tear you down, and there is no reasoning with this person. There are some great churches that do really well. If someone protests at their church or near their church, they will show love to these people and hey, we respect your right to protest. You were created to be able to protest, to speak freely, to have free will. And you know what? We disagree. That's fine. We can talk about those disagreements. It's hot. You want some water? Great. Awesome. Good for those churches. If someone comes with a Molotov cocktail, you're not going to offer that dude some water. You're going to call the police and get everyone to safety, right? That's kind of the difference between an objection and complaint and a troll, okay? It's similar to church complaints. You know, my ministry got a whole lot better on my mindset and my mentality, and honestly for my family, when I realized the difference between complaints and objections. And when I stopped handling complaints as objections, I got a whole lot happier in ministry. Not that happiness is the goal, I know, but hey, it's nice to be happy at the same time too. Where someone could say, hey, you know what? The lights are too low. Okay. That's a complaint, right? An objection would be, hey, you know, me and everyone, I can't read my Bible when I'm trying to read the scripture, follow along with pastor. That's a big deal. The font's a little too small. It's hard to see from the back. That's an objection. Because it's something that I know is hindering someone's worship or hindering someone's spiritual journey, right? Whatever it is. Hey, the Sunday service, we can't make it to Sunday service because we're working. That's an objection. Sunday service is so early. That's a complaint. We can recognize objections which require action and complaints which are just, okay, I hear you. Same thing is true online. There are actual objections to what we're saying, and then there's actual complaints to who we are, and then there's trolling, right? If someone came to you and said, hey, the lights are too bright, I'm going to bring a spotlight and shine it in. That's a troll, right? No one would ever do that, but online, when there's no consequences to just saying whatever you want, then yeah, they'll troll you. So that's what it is, and I want to share with you now what you should do in response, because your response is going to depend on what kind of comment, message, email, whatever it is, what kind of reaction that they have. Our response is a measured response against their reaction, whether it's a complaint, objection, or a troll.